Hi there. Welcome to another installment of the In Tune Guitar Academy. Today we are talking to Kelly Coughlin and we're talking about guitar tone. I wanted to talk to Kelly about his understanding and his background with in terms of guitar and guitar tone specifically. Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? You've had quite an interesting life.
Okay, well, I'm the son of a diplomat. My dad worked for Foreign Affairs. We were posted all over the world. I was born in France, 1971. We were there for a couple of years, moved to Egypt, spent 2 years there. Then we moved to England. I was 5 years in London. I went to school actually around the corner from Abbey Studios, which is pretty neat. Then we moved to Tunisia. I was there for about 4.5 years. Then we moved to Chile, South America for 3 years. Then I moved to Iraq for 1 year, graduated there, came back to Ottawa in 1990, and I've been here ever since. But I love Canada. I love the stability that we all take for granted here that is not available in many other countries. Financial stability, you can go to a bank machine and take money out. My brother was posted in Venezuela recently, and he would go to bank machines, and half the time there would be no money in the bank machine. Let alone medical systems. I could go on and on, but we're very fortunate to live in this country. I always loved music as far as I can remember. Let's talk about my dad for a couple of minutes. My dad was a huge music fan. He had music playing all the time. Eagles, he was a huge Eagles fan. So I grew up with that, and I grew to love music at a very young age. And I remember just sitting by the record player all day, just replaying these albums all the time. So, fast forward to Tunisia and how I learned how to play guitar. We had no TV, from what I recall. The only TV stations we had were the stations that we picked up in Italy, because we were about an hour boat ride from Sicily. You could see Sicily from my house on the beach in Tunis. So we would get the Italian TV and radio stations, and where was I going with this? There wasn't a lot to watch, basically. So I was into AC/DC at the time. I was entering my hard rock phase. So AC/DC, Iron Maiden, and basically I had a tape recorder. And I'll be honest, life could get pretty boring living in the third world. Often there wasn't a lot to do. You would spend a lot of time at home. So I was using my tennis racket, and I'd be rocking out to my tennis racket, listening to AC/DC cranked. And one day my dad had the brilliant idea of saying, "Hey, Kelly, why don't you go get a guitar?" So my parents divorced in 1976 when we were in England. So my mom stayed in England while I kept traveling with my father and my brothers. So I was in Tunis at the time, and I went to visit my mom. I don't remember if it was Christmas time or summertime. But I went to England, and she bought me my first acoustic guitar, and that's really how it all started. Okay. A really cheap, crappy guitar. The strings were like that far off the neck. It was awful. It was horrendous. I wish I kept that guitar.
So you were about 10 years old at the time?
I guess.
Okay. Now that you've been playing a number of years, I guess you've been playing for what, 20 odd years, 30 years?
Yeah, well, I'm 48, and I started around 10, so 38 years. I should be a much better player. Yeah.
Well, I find music is a lot like sports. You have to find out early if you're really super talented.
Exactly.
Then it becomes your main goal. And only about 1% of all really good athletes become professionals. And
yep.
I'd say it's about the same thing for musicians.
I agree.
Anything that's a performance art of that sort of nature.
Yeah.
So it takes the luck of a draw, but
truth be told, as much as I might fantasize about being a rock star, living that lifestyle doesn't really appeal to me, because I would have been dead a long time ago.
Well, we've
Prince, Michael Jackson, medication related.
Medication related. David Bowie had liver cancer, which is probably from his alcoholism, drug use. Same with Greg Allman, same type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix.
How many music lessons have you taken? Would you consider yourself more self-taught or?
Definitely self-taught.
Okay.
I had
Your practice routine now, how do you keep yourself motivated to play? You're currently not in a band, I take it, so
Not really. We jam. That's pretty much it. So that's an interesting topic, is practice. When you love guitar as much as I do, and I'm sure many guitarists feel like this, I don't really ever consider it practice or a chore. I play all the time. I play every day. I don't think there is a day that I don't pick up my guitar. I've got a Tweed Deluxe by my couch. I play every day, and I love it, and I'll never stop. If I were to put some context to the time, I'd say probably an hour a day is realistic. But I don't really have a set practice regimen, and I'm weak in that respect. I really need to be more disciplined and focused, which is why after 38 years of playing, I'm still hammering out power chords and playing AC/DC songs.
That's always been a challenge, I find, for any guitar players. The plateau, you get to a certain level that you just can't progress. And
exactly, there's a plateau. It's very hard to pass that.
And there's a number of plateaus. It's just, it doesn't just, you don't just stop and then get better. You have to plateau, improve a bit,
right?
Plateau, improve a bit.
But I find it's kind of like, it's a very incremental gradient in terms of once you're a decent player, it's really hard to get much better. And that's actually what I struggle with the most. I'm very frustrated. Some of my friends think I'm an amazing player, and I truly think I suck. And I cannot be more honest about that. I think I suck bad.
Well, I think most really good guitar players feel the same way. They're never satisfied.
I'm not even close to being satisfied because I think I know what potential I have.
Okay.
So,
what would you think it would take you to get to that level?
Focus. I'm not focused. If I could focus more, I think my guitar playing would radically improve.
I used to give guitar lessons. I used to teach young children, and I'd tell them all the time, you don't need to practice an hour a day, just 10 minutes a day. Just find a routine that works, and then just keep your fingers limber. It's if you have trouble focusing, pick a certain level, a certain area where you think you're struggling with, and then just focus in on that for 10 minutes. All it takes is 10 minutes a day.
Yep.
Incremental increases.
Yep, you're right.
Increase day by day.
Small, steady wins the race.
Exactly.